Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for joining the community of the broadcast. Thank you for tuning in to the channel. I appreciate all of you for watching. So without further ado, let's get going. I want to talk to you for a few minutes about two roads. Two roads. Two roads. For all my biblical scholars, you know the roads that I'm referencing. Jesus references one road that leads to destruction, being a wide gate, and a secondary road that leads to life, being a straight and narrow gate. Two roads, two roads, two roads. When we consider life in this century, we look at roads as a place that leads to a permanent destination. Whether we're walking, whether we're riding from a motorcycle perspective, or whether it's a vehicular perspective, we're driving a car or a truck. We travel roads to get here and there. In the city that I live in, we have what we call two loops that can get you anywhere that you want to be. So we travel these roads to get from point A to point B. When we want to travel to work, we travel these roads. When we want to travel to the grocery store, we travel these roads. When we have to take our children to school, we travel these roads. When we want to go out of town, we travel these roads. When we want to go to church, we travel these roads. By now you understand I'm talking about these roads, the two roads that we travel. Jesus says one leads to destruction and the other leads to life. If you allow me to juxtapose the Apostle Paul, I think it's further interesting to take a look at his life because he finds himself on two roads. When you come to the 8th chapter of Acts, we see that Stephen is about to be martyred, which means he's about to be killed defending the faith. And similar to Jesus, he asked that, Father, forgive these people for they know not what they do, as they are stoning him to death for defending the faith. The Apostle Paul, quite contrarily, is one of the witnesses who comes forward to the members of the Sanhedrin to say that Stephen is in such a way a heretic. His teachings are falsehoods. He's teaching against the law of Moses. And if you know anything about the members of Sanhedrin, they believe in the law of Moses, what we call the Torah. They were not willing to accept anything else, even though they themselves have been eyewitnesses to the power and the wonder workings of Jesus. Paul at this moment stands there as Stephen is being stoned. The book tells us that they cast lots upon his feet. So he is being celebrated as this man is being killed. It's a powerful thing to consider that Stephen is elevated in chapter 5. And as we come to the close of chapter 7, he's being executed for his beliefs. So if we stick a pin here, one of the things I say is be careful what you seek. Are we willing to be persecuted? And one of the things I want you to consider that stones don't have to be rocks. They don't have to be pebbles. Stones can be words that are thrown at you by members of your family once you receive said elevation. Stones that you receive can come from your friends, from your countrymen, from your co-workers, from your wife, from your husband, from your children. In direct opposition to that which you truly believe in. So in this moment, Stephen is being stoned after receiving elevation, and now Paul is hence being elevated. Cast lots at his feet, celebrate him for the work that he's doing. He is so pumped up as the Pharisees, he goes to the members of the Sanhedrin to get paperwork because now he wants to go to Damascus and to continue to imprison those who believe in what they call in this moment the way. See, it was not called Christianity at this moment, it was called the way. It was a new sect. People were afraid of it. Especially the members of the Sanhedrin who were supposed to control the Jewish people at this time. They were afraid. And now Paul takes up this mantle where he is proud of the work that he is doing on this road. The road that ultimately leads to his destruction. But he does not know that now because in his mind he is under the mindset that he is doing what's right. Defending the law of Moses and persecuting those that believe in the way. So on his way to Damascus, there is what I call interruption in his navigational skills. Jesus puts a pin in his navigation and stops the direction immediately and asks him a question. Paul, why does thou persecute me? Paul is confused. He asks the question, who are you, Lord? Who are you that I persecute? I'm Jesus that you persecute. See, Paul did not understand that the believers of what they call the way in this time were connected to Jesus' body. Many members, but one body. Once you come into Christ, you come into his body. So when you persecute me, you persecute him. Paul didn't understand that at this moment, but he was under the impression that he was doing the right thing on the wrong road. So we read that he is immediately blinded. They have to help him back to Judas's house. The wrong road. Ananias receives a word from the Spirit that a man named Paul is now praying, and has already been made aware that a man named Ananias will come to him, lay hands on him, healing him of his blindness, and afterwards he be given instructions on how much he is to suffer from him, from being on the wrong road. So I talked to so many of you tonight, and I want to know this. How many of us are traveling on the wrong road? That wide gate that leads to destruction. How many of us are traveling on that road? To my alcoholic brother and my alcoholic sister, are you on that road right now? Well, you don't know what to turn. You don't know who to call on. You stop answering your phone. You stop responding to the text messages. You stop listening to the voicemails. You put yourself in a box where you feel that there is no help, no hope, and no one who cares for you. On the wrong road. My brother that's strung out on drugs, you're stealing from your own family, causing death, decay, and harm to your own physical body. On the wrong road. To my sister that's out there, and my brother that's out there, doing anything that you can to sustain yourself financially. So you're hurting others. You're hurting those that you say you love and you care about. You're lying to those. You're not showing up at work. You're not doing the things that you're supposed to do. You're lying to the care group that you've been set up with, all along the wrong road. See, what this does is help you identify with Paul. Paul assumed that what he was doing, what he was taught by Gamaliel, what he learned in the schools of Judaism was right. He's under the impression that the persecution that he was causing to another group of people was right because he believed in it. No empathy. No kindness, care, and consideration for others, but he was focused on what he believed so much that he chose to persecute others and watched a man be stoned to death as he smiled and had lots cast upon his feet, all while being on the wrong road. So Ananias comes, but he is definitely fearful. As we read in the 9th chapter of Acts, he is fearful and even questions Jesus about going. But he has enough trust in God that he goes. The Bible tells us that he goes to Paul and calls him brother. Lays his hands upon him, which at this moment is setting him apart for ministry. The Bible tells us he places his hands on Paul and scales fall from his eyes, removing the blindness of what he experienced on the wrong road. And I say to you today that a lot of us are blind. We've been blinded by greed. We've been blinded by envy. We've been blinded by lust. And we have the assumption that what we are doing is right. Well, I come to lay hands on you so the scales can come from your eyes. And you can understand that we're on one road, but it's time to change directions from a spiritual and mental perspective and get on the right road. The straight and narrow road. Paul has his navigation changed by the one who he didn't believe in. And now he's being called called to a ministry to go and fix some of the problems that he created by thinking he knew what he was supposed to be doing. How many of us assume that we know what we're supposed to be doing and refuse to listen to anyone? How many mothers have tried to reach out to you? How many of your fathers have tried to reach out to you to provide correction? How many older sisters or younger sisters in this climate have tried to reach out to you and tell you, sister, brother, daughter, son, you're on the wrong road? The road that you're traveling leads one direction. But I know a man that once you accept him as your Lord and personal Savior, is great at changing your direction, putting you on the path to life. That's right. I too was on the wrong path, but had to make a hard pivot, recognize the errors in my way, apologize to all those that I hurt along the way, and he changed my direction. Whatever you are caught up in, he will change your direction. Whatever you are hung up on, he will change your direction. Whatever you are addicted to, he will change your direction. Whatever you're strung out on, he will change your direction. Food insecurity, he will change your direction. Molestation, he will change your direction. Hey, God. Glory to God. He will change your direction. He will change your direction. And I'm here to tell you, and I will be here on every Monday to tell you that God is ready to change your direction. All he asks is that you open your mouth. If you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God hath raised him from the dead, you shall be saved. Now, what I didn't tell you, this same Saul who was persecuting Christians had his navigation changed, found himself on a different road. And now when we read the New Testament, we understand that he's written over half of the New Testament. He had to accept the fact that he made a mistake, but he was man enough to get up and go in a different direction. Anybody that's wrote you off and told you that your life is over, they're wrong. All of those that doubted you and told you that you never be nothing, they're wrong. That mother that gave you up and walked away, and now you have this harshness and this bitterness built up on the inside of you, thinking that you're not worthy and that you don't mean anything. To that young boy who has a father who does not participate in your life, does not call to check on you, provides no kind of support, and you feel that you cannot be a man. I tell you, there are two roads. The road can get difficult. The road can be brutal. The road can be judgmental. But I guarantee you have an opportunity to change your direction and get this thing right and become the person that you always dreamed that you could become. I know they said it. I know they did it. I know they lied on you. I know they talked about you. I know they smeared your name. I know they scandalized you. I know they walk away from you and left you standing there by yourself. But I tell you right now, your direction can be changed. As always, I'm the community elder, Robert Tate. I love you. I'm praying for you. I appreciate you. I believe in you. I know that you have what it takes to be the best and greatest version of yourself if you would only believe. I only ask you to do one thing. One thing. It's very difficult to say that you trust in God and you believe in God when you don't trust yourself, because the difficulty lies in honestly recognizing that you're connected to Him. So how can you not trust yourself and say you trust Him if there is connection? I leave you with this. Our life is God's gift to us. How we live it is our gift to God. And I ask you to pose this question and just meditate on it. Is He happy with your gift? Folks, that's my time. I'm the community elder, Robert Tate. As always, I thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. I pray we all continue to go stronger, mentally, spiritually, intellectually, financially. That's my prayer for you, friends. I'll see you next time. Like, share, subscribe. I love you. I appreciate you. Peace.